Erik ten Hag has rallied behind Mason Mount to hit the ground running in his sophomore Manchester United campaign following a tumultuous debut season. It's now been 1 year since the midfielder severed his 18-year ties with Chelsea to complete a move to the 20-time English champions, turning plenty of the Stamford Bridge faithful against him in the process. Yet, it was such audaciousness that, in turn, had him immediately get off on the right foot with United fans. Leaving the club you'd been at since 6 years old to join a direct Premier League rival was undoubtedly a ballsy move from Mount and one that supporters respected. However, he was one name amongst the plethora of Reds to fall victim to last season's unprecedented and debilitating injury crisis. The 25-year-old was sidelined for the best part of his maiden season, being limited to only 20 appearances in all competitions as a result. Mount was able to end the term on a high, though. He made a brief cameo off the bench in the FA Cup final against Manchester City, with his 2 appearances in the competition ensuring that he claimed a winner's medal as he lifted the trophy in front of thousands of travelling Reds at Wembley. "Don't write Mount off before he's even begun," says Ten Hag. Now looking to finally justify his £60 million price tag in 2024-2025, Ten Hag has urged fans to be patient with the midfielder and not form an opinion of him based on the last 12 months. "You can't judge his season," Ten Hag said of Mount's 2023-2024 term. "Because he was injured. Don't judge him. But when he is fit, he will be a very good player for us, and we can use him. Versatile, he will help us a lot." Manchester United began the USA leg of their preseason with a 2-1 loss against Arsenal, but the result was arguably the least important thing. The loss was a moot point as goalscorer Rasmus Højlund was subbed off minutes after scoring and Leny Yoro followed him before the end of the first half as well. The injuries to both players will undoubtedly give a feeling of déjà vu to United fans who saw the same script as last year repeat. Here's the latest on Leny Yoro and Rasmus Højlund's injury, and Erik ten Hag's update on the duo. Leny Yoro and Rasmus Højlund injury latest. Højlund scored in the 11th minute, but immediately following the goal, it looked like his feet got stuck in the turf. With what looked like a groin injury, he signaled to the bench that he needed to come off, and Hannibal Mejbri replaced him. The Dane went straight down the tunnel to put a dampener on the proceedings. Things went from bad to worse for United as Leny Yoro limped off in the 34th minute after the water break. It wasn't clear what the exact issue was, but fans feared the worst after he was consoled by his teammates and kept shaking his head. Reece Bennett came on to replace him and United conceded 2 goals as the spectre of the double injury scare loomed over the match. Erik ten Hag spoke to MUTV after the game and was cautiously optimistic in his assessment of the injuries to both. He said, "Of course, it is too soon. We have to wait over 24 hours, then we know hopefully more. We were very careful, especially with Leny. He did only 50% of the sessions. So it's very disappointing he had to come off, but let's be positive and see what's coming out." Ten Hag's comments show promise. If it is a really bad injury, generally, the players and the manager accept it straightaway because it's clear from the initial prognosis. Especially in Leny Yoro's case, Ten Hag was quick to stress that his substitution was more about being cautious than him being injured outright. In that case, the look of frustration on Yoro's face as he came off could be due to not being able to contribute more. For Højlund, the jury will be out and questions will again be raised on United's preparation, or the lack of it, in fact. If they lose the Dane to a serious injury in his very first appearance, after just 10 minutes, it will be unforgivable from both POVs, the player and the club. Furthermore, the conditions of the USA, stadiums, and turf will come under question. Even though it is believed grass was laid out for this, there are questions about how suitable it remains for top-level football athletes just beginning their season. For now, fans can't do much more than face a nervous wait as clearer pictures of the injury situation for both Højlund and Yoro emerge. Manchester United will quickly want to forget the start of the USA leg of their preseason as they lost 2-1 against an Arsenal side happy to play their senior players. United made 10 changes at the stroke of half-time and played effectively with the reserve side, their issues exacerbated due to injuries to Rasmus Højlund and Leny Yoro. Erik ten Hag has stressed that this season will be the survival of the fittest, due to a barrage of games awaiting the club, indicating that more squad depth is needed. They can't afford to repeat last season's situation as a hobbled and stitched together side limped from one game to another. The manager used the second half changes versus Arsenal to send Ineos a clear transfer message with a shock selection call, making clear his priority. Erik ten Hag's statement substitution. Even when United announced their travelling squad for the USA leg of the preseason, there was one position that seemed remarkably thin. In the absence of Diogo Dalot, who is on an extended holiday after his international duties with Portugal, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was the only natural right back in the squad. That absence was felt even more keenly in the second half versus Arsenal, when, out of all options, Ten Hag chose to field 17-year-old attacker James Scanlon at right back. The manager said after the game that Scanlon was playing in that position for the first time in his life and needed more cover and support. The Gibraltar international was put through the ringer by Arsenal's established first-team player, with him being skinned for one of the goals. United didn't take Habib Ogunai for the tour, which makes it seem like they are putting Wan-Bissaka in the shop window by having him play some minutes every game. The right-back situation. It is an open secret that United are looking for offers for Wan-Bissaka. West Ham United are interested, so are Inter Milan, but the deal is yet to progress. In his place, United are looking to sign Bayern Munich's Noussair Mazraoui, whose move to the Hammers recently collapsed. Due to the lack of clarity on the future of their options as well as transfer targets, United are in an unenviable situation of having just one fit senior option, and even his one foot is out of the exit door. After strengthening the attack and defense with Joshua Zirkzee and Leny Yoro, the midfield was widely expected to be the next on the agenda. But the developing situation at right back has probably shifted the priorities as links to Manuel Ugarte have gone cold for now. For his part, Ten Hag made it clear which position he feels he needs urgent reinforcements for by deploying Scanlon at right back versus Arsenal's stars.